name is Ben, and this is my take on things. Specifically today, we're talking about the conclusion of a series where I tried out 9 different protein snacks from my local vitamin store slash from Walmart and compared them in a couple different ways. Talk about today about the final results. So we had 9 contestants, if you will. I gave them scores based on cost, their macros, the sodium, and the taste. Just ranked them 1 through 9, with 1 being best. So a lower score is absolutely the best of the group. So the very first place overall winner, I came out to be what I'm calling the 1 bar. I'm not sure if that's what they call it. They may just say 1. The one I had was like cinnamon roll flavored. It ended up in first place. $2.08 a bar at my local vitamin store. The macros outstanding. It's low sodium. The taste was one of the better ones. So that really carried it through to the end and put it in first place. And second, I have the no cow, which was the vegan one. Macros on this one outstanding. Sodium very low. Taste not as good, but it wasn't enough of the bad taste to overrun the other stuff. The flavor I had was, I think, cinnamon swirl. So in third place would be the BSN Protein Crisp. It was $2.33 at my local vitamin store. Middle of the road in macros. Middle of the road in sodium, middle of the road in taste, and lower in cost. So sort of carried itself through consistently. We'll call that the king of consistency. So we're going to talk about the top 3 later. So we'll let them hang out. We'll talk about just how the ratings end up breaking down. Talk about 4 through 9 and just tell you why I think it ended up where it is. 4 was the Gatorade Whey protein. My guy here, one of the cheaper bars, but doomed from the start because it's more sodium than I'm allowed to have. It's also a ton of calories. It's a ton of carbs. It's got sugar and sugar alcohol. So I think they're probably aimed at professional athletes and not just a gym rat like me. So I do recommend this, though, if it fits your macros. Absolutely. Go ahead and knock this out the park. It's a good bar. It just was never going to be competitive here. 4 was actually... Sorry, that was 4. Gatorade was 4. 5 was a surprise to me because it's the Quest bar. This flavor of this one, cookies and cream, is disgusting. I don't recommend this flavor. I don't recommend the bar. It was sort of carried because it's cheap. The macros are good. And the way I did it, that carried it almost enough to get it into the top 3. But I don't recommend this at all. It's disgusting. That was in 4th place, unfortunately. 5th was this legendary pastry, this Pop-Tart. Sorry, Pop-Tart. This protein pastry. It was really good. What sort of carried it into 5th place was the macros, because it has protein and not a lot of calories. So it's decently macroed. So that sort of was what carried it further ahead. Now, if you're specifically looking for something to change the pace of a bar, that absolutely would be something to look into. So sliding up next in 7th place, we have the Robert Irvine's Fit Crunch. Flavor on this was good. Maybe the top 1 or 2 in taste wise. But this one doomed sort of the same reason why Gatorade was doomed. 380 calories. Just almost 500 milligrams of sodium. So I'm sure this is not aimed at me. It must be aimed at somebody else, but almost like a half. Like split this thing in half, because 30 grams of protein, didn't down to 15 but grams of protein. But it would cut that everything else back down too. Sugar's not bad on this one, but it's 6 grams of sugar, 16 of sugar alcohol. So it's sort of unfortunately doomed because of sodium, which is a recurring theme, but it matters to me for the sake of what I'm looking for in a bar. It may not matter as much to you. In 8th place, coming in next to last, is this outright keto. Sort of surprised it's not in last place, but it was saved slightly by the fact that it has almost no sodium, and since that was one of the items I was comparing, because that is something that my doctor and I are tracking in my diet and exercise program, is sodium. So the first place in that sort of brought brought it down from where it really should have been, which was in last place. Again, if there's something about keto that I don't understand that makes it taste the way it does, please, somebody explain it to me, but it tastes bad. Do not recommend. Can't say I do. Conditionally, maybe. You know, if you're in a keto, that may be one of the better tasting things you can have. I don't know. Last place, MRE Bar. Sorry for RECON1. I really like some of their I've had some of their protein powders before. Some of their other stuff, their supplements. Not a bad company. Really like what they do. Just doomed, man. The macros are middle of the road. Sodium's middle of the road. It's the most expensive bar at almost $3 a bar. It's $2.92 a bar. And it tastes bad. Maybe it's just this flavor. Maybe it's just peanut butter and jelly. It tastes really, really bad. And that, unfortunately, will put you in last place. So let's not talk about those guys anymore. Let's focus in on the top three. So I've got a confession to make, right? We've got Protein Crisp at 3. We've got the vegan at 2. And we've got the one bar. I'm calling it the one bar at 1. But of the 3 of these, I actually would not eat the no-cow every day. But it may have come in second, but I have to tell you, I'm not sure I can really recommend, or I would really recommend it. However, these two, Protein Crisp from BSN and One Bar, these are both worth another look. Maybe some different flavors. So I think what I'm going to do, if there's any interest, is I think I'm going to bring the Protein Crisp and the One Bar out. Going to get some different flavors for them, maybe a couple of every flavor that I can find in my local vitamin shop. Let's bring BSN, and this is actually produced by One Brands LLC, who is in Charlotte, North Carolina, 20 minutes up the road from me. Let's bring these guys and let's take them to another event. Let's have another competition. Let's bring the One Bar. Let's bring BSN's Protein Crisp. Let's get the Anabar. Let's get Pure Protein, and we'll find out who's really good. So for the conclusion of that one, these two, highly, highly recommend these two. Interestingly enough, they both have 230 calories. That's sort of funny. Good flavor, good taste, like everything else about them. Highly recommend them. So I have been Ben. I am Ben. And for the 10th and final time for this particular project, I will see you guys in the next video. And catch you later.